Macey Conradt, and I just wanted to welcome y'all to my quick lesson on Texan talk. Now, this isn't my first rodeo, as I've lived in Texas my entire life, so I kind of consider myself somewhat of an expert on the subject of speaking Texan. Now, you may have noticed that Texans are as friendly as all get out, but sometimes we can be a little hard to understand. So that's why I'm fixing to just hopefully help y'all kind of figure out some of our unique vocabulary. Hopefully I'm not going to have a hissy fit during this presentation, but I'm just going to grab a Coke and we'll get started. Okay, well, whether you've just moved to Texas or you've been here many years, probably one of the first words that may have been a little confusing was y'all. Now, it actually is a contraction for you all. And as I know y'all have learned, that contraction is just shortening two words or more by leaving out a couple of letters. So y'all is just another way of talking about a group of people. So two or more. You might say, hey y'all, what's up? Or come on over y'all, or what's been going on y'all? So as a Texan, I just want to point out that you will never ever hear me say you guys, ever. Now if it's a really big group, I might go say all y'all, but either way, when I'm talking to multiple people, it's y'all. Okay. The next one you might have heard is howdy. And howdy is actually just a greeting, just another way of saying hello. And it is a more casual greeting. You might not walk into a business meeting and say howdy, but it's just a very friendly greeting. And in fact, at Texas A&M University, which is the largest university in Texas, it is their official greeting. I mean, it's even on their website that it's their official greeting. So if you're walking across campus and you see someone, it's almost required that you say howdy to them. So it's just a new, different way of greeting someone. Okay, next is, this one is more just of a phrase or almost a slogan. It's, everything is bigger in Texas. And obviously we have a very, very large state, just land-wise, and you can drive all day long and still be in Texas. So we just, we actually may almost brag about how big everything is, and so we just like to think that here it's bigger than anywhere else, whether that's, you know, your yard or your dog or your car or your hair, whatever it is, that it's going to be bigger in Texas. So you may have heard people refer to that. It really is just kind of a joke, but we just like to think we have the biggest and best of everything. Okay, the next one is this verb phrase. It's sort of our unofficial verb that we're fixing to. And that just means that we're about to do something. And I realize it doesn't make a whole lot of sense all the time, but that's just how we say things. So we're fixing to get ready for school, or we're fixing to go to bed, or I'm fixing to cook dinner. And you will notice that there is no G. It is not fixing to, it is fixing. I'm fixing to do that. Okay. Next we have all get out. And really that means just as much as possible, or just a lot. Just the most you can think of. You might say, that party was as loud as all get out, or he loved her as much as all get out. It's just how we really emphasize that something is a lot, or the very most you can imagine. Okay, hissy fit. Hopefully you don't see too many of these, but you can kind of see this word kind of may have come from hysterical. So think of it as someone who is really, really upset and a tantrum. And, you know, we think of 2-year-olds having tantrums, and most of us can picture a 2-year-old or maybe our 2-year-old having a big just meltdown over, not being able to tie their shoes or something. But it also actually applies to people of all ages, like even adults. You may see someone throwing a hissy fit if they're frustrated with their teenager or their parents, or maybe they've been inside for 40 days with their family. We all may have had a hissy fit or two in the last couple of weeks, but that's how Texans classify a really big fit. Okay, this is Coke, and probably all of you know that Coke is short for Coca-Cola, a soft drink. But Texans have really made Coke a generic term. We just use Coke to refer to any kind of drink. For example, this drink that I got, it's not actually a Coca-Cola, but I might say I'm just gonna go get a Coke, or y'all come over for a Coke. Let's go out and get a Coke, and that can really mean any kind of drink. So if you see someone that wants to go get a Coke and then they order a Dr. Pepper, that explains it. It's just generic for soda. This expression that I used at first when said this isn't my first rodeo in talking Texan, and you may notice here I said ain't, which is also a contraction for is not, but I just wanted to point out that ain't is not correct grammar, that my mother would never ever let me say ain't. If I said it, she corrected me immediately, but just sometimes for emphasis or just, kind of more of a joke, just add the word ain't when you say this ain't my first rodeo, meaning this is not my first time. And you know what you're doing, or you've kind of been there, done that. And I don't know if any of you have been to a rodeo or seen a rodeo since you've been here, but it's a very typical Texas, I guess it's a sport, but there's horse and cattle and riding events in an arena. So as Texans, we refer to just saying, I've done this before, I've been in that rodeo. Maybe if you were cooking dinner or something and your sister walks in and tries to tell you how to do it, you might say, this isn't my first rodeo, I've made this many times. So it's kind of like, back off, I've done this before. Okay, this one, and I have it here, big old, but really when we say it, it's more one word, big old. And just big, as we've talked about. We're proud that things are big here, so we just might refer to that big old dog, that big old car, that big old steak, just anything that's really big. Okay, this is the last one that I have today, and it's don't mess with Texas. And it's kind of the unofficial slogan of Texas, and actually it started as an anti-littering campaign back like in the late 80s, and there were commercials and public service announcements and billboards just encouraging citizens not to litter or leave trash on the highways. But it's just kind of stuck. It's still, you'll see these signs, you may see it on Texas souvenirs, but it's just kind of become a phrase, just saying, we're Texas and don't mess with us. So just kind of kidding, joking, but some of us may actually believe it, but we're the best and don't mess with us. So, well, that's the end of my quick express lesson there, and I hope that you found it helpful and maybe even a little fun, but we just really wanted y'all to know that we just can't wait till we can meet back in person and we can just give each other a big howdy in person. And we just want you to remember that God loves you more than all get out. And in fact, God's love for you is even bigger than Texas. So I hope y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.